Hi.
Hi.
Mindful Polly.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Is
We
this your
missed
first
you.
time? Hello. Nice to meet you. This is
You're
not
looking
your
really
first
nice
time.
today. I mean,
What?
yeah, whoever you are. I'm
Oh,
into
you
it.
look awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Keep it up.
We're so happy you're here. So today we're talking about coming out.
Yeah.
Specifically at work.
At work. This is part of our coming out series.
So
you recently had an event at work
Mhm.
that was sort of felt like a coming out moment for you, right?
Oh, the open house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was. So after remodeling the new facility and putting lots of time and money and effort into it, they want to show off. So they're like, family and friends night, bring your families. You can take them around and show them all the cool stuff in our new facility.
And you're like, I have one of those.
Yeah, I have a family. There's also going to be trunk or treating. So because this was around Halloween, sometime in October. So I thought, Sunny might also really enjoy that.
Yeah.
So
She loves her some candy.
I asked if you wanted to be my date, basically, to this family gathering at work. And how did you feel about it when I asked you?
I was excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my company is even smaller than yours, and we'll talk a little bit about my experience soon. But my company never does things. Like I don't ever get to bring people to a thing or invite people to a thing, and so to get invited to a thing, it's just I hear about other companies doing, and I hear about other people getting to go to their partners' things, and I just don't get to do it very much.
And if you had done something with Elliot, or for Elliot's job, it would just be normal because you're married.
Well, I would still feel, I don't know. I think it would feel exactly the same. Like I would
Really?
feel excited to get to go to a thing.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this is just a rare occurrence at all, like
in my life.
general.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I don't think I was quite aware of that.
Oh yeah.
At the time.
I just don't, neither I nor partners that I've had companies that hold events and invite families.
But it was amazing. It was so much fun. Most people were just like, had no idea that anything was going on because the way I chose to handle it was I would introduce you as my partner, and this is your. I didn't say it was my daughter. I said this is your daughter. Right?
Did you say that? I mean, I don't even feel like
I
you
don't-
introduced. You were just. I don't even think people asked. I think we just went around and they were like, "Oh, hey,
Right.
you look
Like,
happy."
for the most part, if you see someone you don't recognize walking around with someone you do recognize, you assume they're family.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's how most of the interactions felt to me.
Right. We played mono on TV, basically.
Yeah. Yes.
Everyone was just assuming we were a family.
And just to
Look,
clarify
a family.
that term, that's like a phrase we like to use. I don't know if it's a widely used one, but
Playing mono on TV.
yeah.
Like, I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
Right. Yeah, I'm not mono, but I look
it's
like
passing.
I can pass it. Yeah.
We definitely passed for a family unit.
Right.
The tour was fun. I gave a really good tour.
Yeah,
Sunny was
yeah.
excited and wanted to see parts of the building again. Like,
Yeah,
I want to go up
she
to that
started out-
window.
She started out really shy, which is usually her way, and then when you started showing her around, I think it kind of clicked for her that you were sharing this important part of your world that she hadn't seen before, and I think she got pretty into it.
Yeah. The big moments that happened for me were introducing you to a couple people. I think, like, I at least got something out of it, even though they didn't seem to react. Like, they didn't know they were meeting someone super, like, in strange circumstances. Like, we didn't announce to anyone that you're my partner. And, like, but, like, my supervisor who, like, gave me curtains for my new apartment and knew I had a divorce recently, like, was just like, oh, heck, nice to see you. Like, they're just totally normal, totally great. And by the time we were ready to go home, I wanted to say goodbye to my boss, and who happened to be standing next to the CEO and owner of the company, respectively. The very powerful people at my job. And
VPP,
the VPs.
VPPs.
MVPs. And then Sunny got shy again.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
if
cute.
Sunny knew they were like,
Important.
yeah, the bosses.
She might have read your vibe. I don't know.
You think?
Yeah.
She's a pretty intuitive kid.
Yeah.
And the thing that we talked about so much afterwards was Sunny hid behind me and kind of held onto my legs, and my secret fear of most interactions when we are in public and I'm spending time with you and Sunny and even you and Sunny and Elliot is someone's going to figure out that I'm not her dad, that I don't know. Like I have that anxiety the most when I am spending solo time with Sunny and like we'll go pick up Chinese food or something. And then they want to tell me how cute my daughter is, and I'm just like, well, thank you. Some people
not correct them, like
right, not correct them. And I had the anxiety way more earlier on when Sunny and I were still getting to know each other, and building that trust initially, because I just thought it was like at any moment it could crack, and they could choose to cry and make a scene, and then say something about you're not my real dad, or like
like you've seen in movies,
right? Like those are just awfulizations in my mind, just anxiety dreams that aren't real, haven't happened, but I'm just worried that it might. And then I have to explain that no, but I am dating their mother, and their mother knows that I'm taking them out to get food, and this is all like
everything's okay.
Everything's okay. But this time when I went to go talk to my boss and my CEO and the owner, all Sunny did was this small body language. Oh my gosh. Like I'm tearing up about it right now, like telling the story again, because it meant so much to me to have Sunny's trust that way. And it made me feel safe in front of these people that have some sway over my livelihood.
Yeah.
They could just fire me if they decide they don't like non-monogamy, because we're in a state where that they don't have to give a reason. I mean, and we're not really a protected
or at-will states.
We're not really a protected group. Like,
true.
If someone fires you because they don't like non-monogamy, like I don't know what recourse you really have.
I don't think you have
We'd
any.
be blazing that trail.
Yeah.
We're sharing our experiences about coming out at work, not so that you feel badly because you haven't. This is not something that's expected or that anyone needs to do. It is purely, it felt right to me, so I decided to go ahead and do it at the time.
We thought through the, you and I both together talked about the pros and cons of this idea. I mean, I think anyone considering coming out at work kind of has to take a moment and consider like what are the good things that could happen as a result of this, and what are the negative things that could happen. So that was one that we talked about. Like, okay, let's just worst case scenario this. I like to short circuit my awfulizations by thinking about like what's the worst that could happen, and the worst that could happen in this situation is that you lose your job, right?
Yeah. I mean, that'd be a pretty bad
which is a big deal. I mean, for anyone. And
I was very nervous about doing this.
But so we talked about that. We talked about what would happen. Okay, let's say you lost your job. Well, you probably would have trouble affording your apartment. Yeah. And so then we talked about that you could come move in with me until you get back on your feet or however long you need. Mm-hmm. And that kind of, I don't know, I think sometimes just thinking that through, it can kind of, it's not like you're going to be homeless. It's not like you're going to go hungry. You have that safety net there. Like there are protections in place.
Yes. I was very fortunate, very thankful to have those.
Yeah.
And I think was probably, other than just where I'm at in my journey after 4 years, or say 6 or 7 years in non-monogamy, and like 4 years dating you, and building up this polycule, that felt like the math worked out this time. Like at this point, I reached a tipping point where I felt safe enough that I just went ahead and did it. I think if you'd asked me 3 years ago, I would have probably hesitated more and not known if I could have done that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And one of the whole reasons to do this at all is that we were both interested in is the just being a positive advocate for non-monogamy, for polyamory, like being good examples and using our relative positions of safety to like just be more visible in society because we're trying to normalize it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're in a unique position where we can, if we need to take a hit, we could. So like, this is a powerful
let's do it.
opportunity to like make it known, get it out there. Like
Right.
someone might be polyamorous. So we've talked a little bit about some of the pros and cons.
Yep.
Okay, there's the really blatant one, which is you get legitimately fired. But
Yep.
just as big, really, would be like lower level things that you might not be able to pick up on. So it might be that someone knows you're poly and kind of passes you over for a promotion opportunity, or
soft rejection.
Yeah, treats you differently in the workplace, or
stop inviting me to lunches.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it would have been very disorienting and painful to realize that my relationships had changed.
Yeah.
Because of this new information they learned about me.
And I think it'd be harder to pin down too. It'd be harder to push back against, because you might not, if you get passed over for a raise, it's like, well, is it just because I, really wasn't up to par, or
it's hard to prove.
Is there something more going on there?
Yeah.
But on the pro side, to balance that out, I mean, there's
living your authentic life.
Yeah, there's that. Well, and I also think one thing I experienced in my own story was the chance to build a stronger connection with the people. You spend a lot of your day with these people that you work with.
Yeah.
And like when you're vulnerable enough to share something personal like that with them, then it gives you a chance to build a little stronger connection and build a little bit more trust. And I mean, if it goes well, it's an opportunity for those things. Which is pretty valuable too. So I also had a chance recently to come out. This is part of why we picked this as a topic.
Yeah, so we both had something to share.
Yeah. So we have a client that we've been working with for a while. Mostly me. It's mostly me that's been working with them. And so, yeah, I've been working with them and have a really great relationship with them. They really, really love the work I do. And they are having an anniversary party also. So, I got the invite, and in my mind, I'm immediately thinking about all the people I'd love to bring. If a big picture world, I'd bring you, I'd bring Elliot, I'd bring Stevie, I think that'd be amazing. And you rarely get the opportunity to RSVP for so many. So
right.
I pull it up, and it allows me to RSVP for 3.
Wow.
And I'm like,
opportunity.
What? Like, this is unheard of. Like, you always just get your plus one, but I get a +2 basically.
Oh, the +1 is so steeped in monogamous assumption.
And I still don't know why they offered this, but I immediately thought, oh my gosh, like I would love to take Fox and Elliot. That would be a dream come true. I would love, to get to share this fancy dinner that I, so rarely get invited to with these 2 people that are so important to me. Like, would be incredible. So I decided to, especially since this is a client, this isn't actually my company itself. I think that'll be a little bit more straightforward, but since it was a client, I kind of felt like if I want to get to the place where I feel okay accepting this invite with 2 partners, then I need to also come out at my actual company first. Yeah. And verify that they aren't concerned about the impact that would have with his client.
Right.
And so this is something that, I think would be something to think about if you're going to have this kind of conversation where you're coming out to really anyone, but we'll say at work. I wanted to be very intentional about how I presented this information, because I know there have been times in the past when I've come out as other things, come out as like an atheist, or come out as, things that I'm worried about being accepted about, like having tattoos, or things that are, I don't know, culturally people have feelings about. And sometimes I, in the past, would present it as like, well, there's this thing I want to tell you about. And I'm immediately in my demeanor and energy, I'm just offering like that I'm shamed, that I'm
expecting you to not take this well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm almost, I think without realizing it, you can almost be like telling someone how to feel when you give them that.
It's kind of leading the witness.
Yeah. I think I can recreate what I said for the most part here. So I came in there and I was like, and my boss asked if I was going to go to that event. And I said, yeah, I definitely am. I've already got a sitter lined up for Sunny. But I noticed that I'm allowed to bring 2 people instead of just 1, which is kind of unusual. And this hasn't really ever come up before because we don't really have events here for family. But Elliot and I are not monogamous, and we never have been. And we've spent many years now building a family of people that we really care about. We make meals together. We go on trips together. And I have one partner in particular I've been with for over 4 years that I would also like to bring to something like this. And I recognize that this client is more traditional and that this is a less traditional lifestyle choice that I've made, like the way that I'm structuring my family and leading my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, I just want to be sensitive to the fact that they are a little bit more traditional, and I want to be respectful of how they might feel about something like that. And I would like your opinion on how best to approach this.
Mm.
So that's where I left it. And
it was a tricky needle to thread. I think you did a really great job with your statement.
I felt really good about it. I feel like if I were going to give people advice about coming out, I think if you present it in that way where you're like, here's this perfectly normal, happy, healthy thing I'm doing, like it's harder for them to react negatively. I think you give them less window. So to finish that story, the advice he basically gave me is like, I think you're thinking about this really well, and I think you should do what you think is right. So
that's a great reaction. Thanks, boss.
I know. I think I felt that sort of as a.
Also, he went away and thought about it for a little bit, and then came back to you and said that.
Yeah,
I thought,
yeah,
that's nice too. He really considered it.
He did. Yep. And so I have decided to do it because there's a lot of reasons why.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is kind of like what we were just talking about, is like when you present it in a way where it's hard to get upset about.
Yeah.
Then I think that just, I don't know. It's just, so what people are going to see at this event, I'm imagining in my mind, is like 3 people who are totally comfortable together, very happy, very relaxed, clearly having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And
dressed amazingly.
Yeah, looking dapper. And I can't imagine seeing that and not just thinking that, okay, like I think anything you might think like, oh, I'm worried about this person, or did they get coerced into that, or like, is someone here unhappy? You would just, everything you would see would counteract any of those fears you might have. Do you want to share a recent story you had about like coming out on a more one-on-one level?
There was a conversation I was having with someone I consider a friend, like a real friend at work. They work remotely, and they were visiting that week, so we don't have a lot of in-person time. But we were excited because we're also like chess playing partners. Like I will often send our like screenshots of our latest games to each other and be like, check out this win. And we're encouraging each other to learn the game. And then I saw him talking to another coworker about chess. And then I joked with him directly, oh, so you're like cheating on me with other chess players? And he's like, well, if I was polyamorous, that wouldn't be a problem. And I'm like, actually, it's funny you say that because I am polyamorous and it isn't a problem. And he goes, oh, that's great. I know someone that is. That's like that too. I would be if my partner was into it. I'm like, okay, cool. Like he was just like, so we didn't skip a beat. We had our rapport down. And so this little revelation about my personal life was just, he's just like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. This is normal.
Which, I mean, and kind of going back to that idea of the more we normalize it, I mean, part of why it was normalized for him is that he had already interacted with someone else.
Yes, exactly. I mean, he was right there with a poly joke, even though he's not poly.
Yeah.
Coming out at work. Tell us in the comments how your experience went. Did you have something similar happen to you?
Yeah, or what is your pros and cons list?
Yeah. What's your math look like?
Yeah.
I want to know. So, thanks for joining us. This has been Mindful Poly, an episode about coming out at work. I'm Fox.
And I'm Nova.
Bum, 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 bum. I'm sounding good in my ears. I am fashioning a coaster out of tissues.
Classy bitch.
I'm so classy. And now we are good to go.